Hey, what's up, guys? So in this video, I'm going to tell you 3 stories of instances where I was shown extreme kindness by strangers. These are things that happened to me a long time ago when I was a younger person in life, and I've never forgotten them, and I've never stopped appreciating what those people did for me. So I'll take them in chronological order, actually. The first one was when I was a juvenile. I was mandated oftentimes by courts to see psychologists or psychiatrists, whatever, to receive some type of mental health at my own expense. So I went from many, therapists to other therapists to this doctor, that doctor. Never really, had any kind of benefit from it. It was a lot of bullshit as far as I was concerned. I was upset that I had to go do this and that I had to pay for this out of pocket. And I ended up with one lady, after so many that didn't work out, who I actually liked and who I respected and who I saw could help me and that actually cared. And I mentioned her in another video, actually. She became a great friend of mine in life. She's no longer with us, but I'll never forget what she did. And this story that I'm about to tell you was the start of our great friendship. So I was with her probably for only a couple weeks of me going to her. I had to go twice a week, and I remember I was paying out of my own pocket. I think it was like $100 a week or maybe even more, and I couldn't afford it. I couldn't pay it anymore. And I told her, I just can't. I want to continue seeing you since I'm mandated to see someone, but I can't afford it. And she told me, I'm not interested in the money, and that I'll continue to treat you for free because I want to help you. Keep in mind, guys, this is a successful doctor who has her own practice. She has no need and reason to do this for me. I'm not her child. I'm not her relative. I'm just some fucking juvenile delinquent fuck up. And not only did she continue to treat me and see me, but she took it even further, and she started spending time with me as a friend, socially, exposing me to things that I never would have seen otherwise. She took me to my first Broadway show in New York. She took me to my first French restaurant in New York. She took me to Tribeca Film Festival premiere, the first and only time I've been at anything like that. She stuck by me while I was in jail as a child. Later on, as an adult in prison, we lost contact for years. She found me in a fucking cage in some prison and started sending me letters and books and kept in touch with me. So it all goes back to that one first act where she had to make a decision to choose money or to choose to help someone that she knew she could really help. And I'll never forget what she did. I learned a lot from her, and I'll always love and remember you. My friend Gloria was her name. So the next story that happened of extreme kindness was also around that time, probably around the same age, and this is probably like 15 years old, somewhere around there. I was in and out of, trouble with the law. I'd already been incarcerated as a juvenile, and I just had a lot of problems. I had a girlfriend who was a little bit older than me, and that girlfriend and I, we were crazy about each other. It was like young puppy love. We thought it was going to be something forever, and she was the only thing I had in my life that I cared about, and likewise. So I was, spending most of my time with her. We'd be out in the streets all the time. We were both broke. We really didn't have shit, but I used to sneak her into my house sometimes, and I'd pull her in through a window and pull her into my house. And one time my father came into my bedroom, started banging on my door and screaming at me, saying, I know somebody's in there. And I took the girl and hid her in the closet, right? He comes in, he starts flipping the fuck out on me. He looked around, he didn't see her. He looked in the closet, he didn't see her under these clothes she was hiding. And he started beating the shit out of me in front of her. Not in front of her, but there. And I knew she could hear. And something snapped in me because I was aware that she was there. I was so fucking humiliated that I flipped out, and that was the first time in my life I fought back. And I ended up leaving that night. I ran away from home one of many times, and she wanted to go with me. So I took her with me. We took a bus from New Jersey from New Jersey to Port Authority to Manhattan first. And from Manhattan, we took a bus, multiple buses, all the way down to Florida. Okay? I was down in Florida. We were in Jacksonville, Florida, when I ran out of money. I ran out of money, and we basically were shit out of luck. I was fucked. I didn't have any way to earn anything or to take care of her, feed myself. And I was in communication with somebody from up here who was planning on sending me some money. Okay, so they were going to send me some money. It took a lot longer than I expected it. It ended up taking like a week or two. I don't know for what reason. But during that time, we were homeless. We had nowhere to go. And a lot of crazy things happened during that time. But for at least a week straight, I remembered we were sleeping under a bridge in Jacksonville, Florida. Under like the overpass, sleeping there. And there was a store, a convenience store around there. And I would go there with whatever little, change I had. Some people would throw us change when they saw us under the overpass, and I'd go pick it up. And I'd go into this little store, and I'd try to buy stuff. Whatever it was, water, coffee, just a fucking cake, whatever, something. And that store owner refused to take my money. He would not take my money. And this went on for days. Every day I went there, this guy would not take my money. And he told me, take whatever you need. He understood what the situation was. He knew I was homeless. He knew I didn't have shit. And he gave me whatever I needed for free. I never took advantage. I never took anything extra than what I needed. As bad as I wanted cigarettes and shit like that, I never took them. Very minimal. And I'll never forget that. Unbelievable thing that guy did for me during that time. And it's another story in itself, the whole runaway shit in Florida. But what happened was when I finally did get the money, I was boarding a bus, she and I, to Miami from Jacksonville, where cops ran down and shut down that bus terminal and came and got me. And it turns out that girl's parents had reported her missing and kidnapped. So it was just a shit show. I ended up getting put back on a plane. I was put in juvenile detention down there, put back on a plane, and sent back up. But that's another story again. The last segment of this is another time where someone was extremely kind to me. Happened in New Jersey. I was a little bit older, and again, I was homeless. I was in a period of life where I had nowhere to go. This involved another girlfriend, and this particular girlfriend was one of the only ones I had in my life where she came from the opposite of what I was. She came from a very well, run and managed family, and they were like complete opposite. I'd never seen anything like that. Very good people, solid people. They were Italian people. And I remember it was during the holiday season, so it was around Christmas time, and I had nowhere to go. I was homeless. So I was just living on the streets, taking care of myself. And the girl knew, and she told me she wanted to tell her parents. I was against it. I didn't want these people to look down on me and hate me and think I was, garbage and not good enough for their daughter. But she did. And I remember that girl's father, he asked to speak with me, and he told me that I could stay with them, for as long as I needed, for a couple weeks or something, at least during the holiday, so I wouldn't be homeless for Christmas and New Year's. And he did. I took him up on it. I'll never forget that, because even then I was thinking to myself, I can't believe this man is doing this for me, letting me into his home, right off the street, literally, where with his family, with his wife and his children, and welcoming me in and giving me a place to sleep and feeding me. And, it just blew my mind. And I'll never forget it. I'll never, ever forget it. It was an amazing thing that he did for me. And in those couple days, or however long it was that I was there, I just remember, feeling different than I ever had before. I'd never understood extreme kindness and generosity. And I like to think that these, couple things that happened to me in life affected me in a way insofar as I also try to do the same for other people and do whatever I can when I see an opportunity that I can step up and be that hero to someone else, like those people, stepped up for me. So this was just a random topic of video I thought I'd make. And again, these are things that stuck with me forever. And if you're going to take something from this, I'd encourage you guys to, be that person that is different than everybody else. And that when given an opportunity to help, that you really fucking step up and help. Things are not all about money in life. Things are not all about status and whatever the fuck you think it is. Sometimes we just need to do things just because it's the right thing to do. And just because we've been blessed in many ways and we can help someone else where maybe they can't help themselves in that moment in life, like me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks.